Hi everyone, it's Friday tea time and the wife is out doing the shopping, so while she's out doing the shopping I snuck into the kitchen to do this video a bit quick before she comes back. Just going to knock my Groundbait out and I wanted to share a couple of little bits. Some of these things might seem quite basic to some of you, but some of you might turn around and then get one or two little tips off of it. So all I wanted to show you first of all is what Groundbait we're using. Bear in mind it's just gone quite cold. We're now Friday the 24th of November. I'm going fishing tomorrow on the Saturday the 25th and I'm going to the Viaduct. I've not been there since COVID. I'm going down there to fish for silvers. And so I want to knock up some Groundbait for that. So this mix is sort of bearing in mind that it's cold. Now the first thing is Tom's Intelligent range. And I'm using, I don't really know what the colour of the water is going to be like down there. I've not gone too dark on my mix, but I don't want it completely brown now. So I've gone with the dark natural Tom's, which is absolutely awesome. And I say that, I like to think I say that with a little bit of authority because I was kind of involved with the early fish meal Groundbaits that came out like 30 years ago. A friend of mine in the same village as me, just down the road, Howard Webb, invented Silly Bait. Now Silly Bait, some of you may know of it, some of you may not. But Silly Bait was sort of the first original fish meal Groundbait out, and that's fact. That is, it was the first. Massive companies like Vandenine and Census had to sort of sit up and take notice because it just spread like wildfire. Everybody started, bagging up on it because fish meal was never used before, or fish meal based Groundbaits. So that was probably 30 years ago, and Tom's is a very subtle fish meal based Groundbait. And so what I was doing for tomorrow is, first of all, I've got the last bit in there now, is I'm just going to put it for a flower sieve. So I'm just going to knock that out. And that's the last of it now. But see all those larger particles? Quite big. I don't want them all wet and plumed up tomorrow because we might be fishing for sort of hand-sized skimmers and they can fill up very, very quickly. If you think of a hand-sized skimmer's stomach and think of it sort of being the size of its eye, that'll give you an idea on how small amount of feed they'll want if it's cold. So, as we were saying, that's 50% Tom's Dark Natural. And then because it's gone cold, I have put some expander in. I've put about 1/4 kilo of expander in. Again, Tom's. This is quite a light expander. I wouldn't use it in really deep water, not on its own anyway. But it fluffs up nice, makes a nice little bit of a cloud. I do like that one. And then I've used a little bit of Census Magic as well. And the reason I chose Census Magic is one that skimmers obviously like it, as you all know. But also it's very subtle in its sweetness as well. And like I said about Tom's, it's quite a delicate fish meal based Groundbait. And I think if you put other things in there, it can sort of overpower it. So I do find that combination quite nice. I haven't put that much in it, as you see, probably a 1/4 bag again. So I've probably knocked a kilo up, and I've used half a Tom Thick's Intelligent range, the natural dark. I've used 1/4 of expander and 1/4 of Census Magic. Now I'm going to just whisk it up. You can do it by hand, but I always find whisking easier. If you do go for a whisk, I mean I've had this one years now. I bought this whisk just before the Winter League final on the Neen, probably 12, 13 years ago. I bought it off of Sam Wildsmith, and you can see on the corners, if you look on the corners here, you can see how flat it's gone, and that's how many years I've sort of used it going around in the bucket. But you can get these, lots of places sell them now, but what I will say about it is you want 11 prongs. A good one will give you 11 prongs. And when you really want them is when it gets a lot colder, and I start putting lean in the Groundbait. As soon as you start trying to mix lean with any amount of water, if you haven't got a whisk, it'll clag up. It'll just go really clayey, really claggy and lumpy and awful, and it'll be unusable really. And if you do decide to get a drill in time, as I said, this one's got 11 spokes. I have bought a new one because I've seen how thin this one's gone in places, and I thought it's going to go soon. I don't want to be stuck without one. So I went and bought one from Opbox actually, which is a really nice one. That's got 11 prongs as well, but it's still in the den. I haven't had to start using it yet because this one's still intact. But if you do want one, you'll need a drill, an 18-volt drill really as well to drive it. Here's some water I've sat around a little bit. So we'll leave that a little minute, let that soak up the water, and then we'll put a little bit more in it. I'm going to make it a bit damper than this, and the reason is tomorrow at Violet, what I want fairly damp, quite inert groundbait, and not too strong, as I was saying earlier. And I want to be able to one-hand squeeze it really. I want it to go in and not give off too much sort of bits, dryish bits. I don't want anything like that because there used to be a lot of small roach in the venue, and that can attract the roach, and you can have a job getting your rig or small baits down to the bottom. And I don't want that. I want to catch quality fish. But I have heard a lot of the little roach have disappeared. Now how true that is, I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. But I'm hoping that's the case. I think that'll take a bit more water now actually. Lovely, isn't it? You see how sort of fluffy, and see where a flower sieve, you can just see how light it is. I wish you could smell on camera, that's absolutely lovely. But that's perfect. You want to be able to squeeze the ball, let go of it, and it don't crack. If it cracks, if you see a crack on it, it's too dry. So, but that should break down really nice. I'm going to leave that to dry a little bit more, get a bit more water in it in a bit, and then we'll just put it through that's actually a maggot riddle. But I'll put it through a maggot riddle just to make sure all the lumps are broken out. Put it into the ground bait bowl there, chuck that in my fridge until the morning, and that'll be perfect. That is lovely. That really is absolutely spot on. Beautiful. I might put that through the riddle now actually. I don't think that's going to dry out a lot more, and if it does, what I'll do in the morning, so I won't leave it till on the bank, what I'll do is I'll take it out of the fridge out of here in the morning, and I'll have a quick look at it, and then if it need be, I'll chuck it back in the bucket, give it another little whisk round, back through the riddle, and then into the van, and away we go. This is about 1 kilo. Should go through the riddle fairly easy as we took all those bigger lumps out. You can see the amount of lumps there just from mixing, and that's with a drill. It's a lot, isn't it? All I do is just work those through. And if I wanted to, if I wanted to, I could put that back through a riddle a second time and put even more sort of air through the mix. I don't think I need to today. Right, I better clean up before she's back. There it is. Absolutely spot on.